If you want to go to high school feeling like a baddie, this episode is for you. Welcome back to the Real Talk podcast. I'm your host, Niki Patton, and let's get into the chaos. Hey guys, welcome back to the pod. Welcome to Real Talk. Guys, I haven't been in my LA apartment in so long. I went back to New Jersey for a really long time, but today we are back and this feels so good. Today I wanted to talk about my high school survival guide. I've been getting a lot of questions about high school, and I feel like a lot of you have been asking me how to feel confident in high school, like my biggest tips and things that like I learned in high school, and how I like had a glow up, and just a lot of things where like I feel like I've been getting like so many high school questions that I had to do a whole survival guide episode. So I actually haven't really planned out my advice. I'm just going to literally speak from experience right now. Basically today I'm going to freeball my advice to you guys from my actual high school experience, and we're just gonna chat because I miss just having these episodes where it's like low key and we're just chatting and yapping and there's no like script. Lately I've been like outlining my episodes a little bit more, so I'm excited to yap. Guys, first of all, life update. I went home to New Jersey for like a month, and it was such a Jersey Shore core summer. If you guys have never been to New Jersey, it is so nice this time of year in the summer, and it was just a vibe, okay? Like, it was just summer I turned pretty vibes, and I loved it. By the way, I'm Team Conrad. Okay, that's been my like life lately. I've just been like beaching, hanging out with my dogs, and it was really nice, and I feel like sometimes when I'm in LA for too long, my brain goes into mush, and I feel like I just miss like real people. I miss my family. I miss my like real life. Like New Jersey just feels so much more real to me. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that's where I'm at right now. And I kind of want to go back soon. I am going back soon. So that's really exciting. So I won't miss home for too long. And LA just in the summer, it's just weird here. I'm telling you guys, it's just weird. It's just like kind of dead. And I feel like everyone's out of town, and it's just like, it feels weird to be here. It feels like a ghost land, kind of, a little bit. Anyway, maybe I just need to go to the beach. We're going to get into the high school tips, because high school was a time for me where I felt my most insecure. I think high school was the time where I had eras in high school where I felt so delusionally confident. And then I had eras like freshman year where I just felt like the biggest dork in the world, and I felt like I didn't fit in, and it took me like a really long time to like build my confidence. I would say freshman year of high school and like middle school were the times when my confidence were at like an all-time low. By the way, guys, today's drink is a freaking matcha, and it tastes so good. It's literally so delicious. ASMR. Wow, that's delicious. Anyway, I did feel really weird in high school. Like I felt like kind of just an outsider. And now looking back, it makes so much sense why I felt like that, because I feel like in high school, it's like cool to not have a personality, and it's cool to not care, and it's cool to not try. And I'm the opposite of all those things. Like, you know, like a nonchalant person. Like, I am the opposite of that. So I feel like high school was the time in my life where I felt the most insecure, like middle school and the beginning of high school. Because I feel like in high school, it's cool to not try and not have a personality and to just be like a bot. And I wasn't any of those things. Like, if you think about a nonchalant person, I was kind of the opposite of that. So it makes sense why I felt so like insecure back then. But I'm just going to tell you everything that I learned from high school in terms of like stress, dating, friendships, confidence, like anxiety, like school stuff, just everything that I learned that I wish I could go back and just tell myself. So let's get into it. Okay, first, I thought I would tell you guys my most embarrassing high school story, because I just think it's so funny and I love looking back at it now. And this just proves that no matter what you do in high school or however you think you embarrass yourself, it'll be funny in the long run, okay? I had this crush on this guy. We'll call him Dave? Sure. Anyway, I had a crush on this guy, Dave. Let's call him Dave. And I would walk by Dave every day. And I literally remember I liked him because I met him at a 7th grade party and we went to different middle schools. So when I finally saw him again in high school, it was like that like TV moment where I'm like, he was like in slow motion and I was like, oh, like I met him at a party in the 7th grade. Like this must be meant to be. And I had like such a huge crush on this guy and I thought I was super cool. I was like, okay, how am I going to stand out and be mysterious and cool? I am going to like get his attention. So every day after school, we were walking to the buses, I would pass this guy and this poor guy. I would just put my hand up for a high five every day. And he would be so confused. And he was like, and like give me a high five every single day. And I literally thought that was like Riz back then. And that was pretty embarrassing. And then I sat next to him at an assembly for school. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be so cool and chill. And I'm just going to be like this cool girl. And my friend was like, hand him your number. And I was like, why would I do that? And she was like, hand him your number on a Post-it. This is like my most embarrassing high school story. And I don't know why I listened to her, but I wrote my number down on a little Post-it and I like gave it to him thinking that, you know, we would text all night and then end up dating. And I saw him like drop it in the hallway after the assembly. So that is my most embarrassing crush story. And now we can get into the advice. I just thought we'd start it off with a banger because that was honestly horrible. Okay, speaking of crushes, we're going to talk about high school crushes and relationships. Okay, the first question is, how do I know if my crush likes me? Honestly, this is a classic question. And it's very easy to tell because if your crush likes you, he will make an effort to talk to you. Now, there are shy guys, and that is very real in high school because everyone's like a meep version of themselves and they're all awkward. So what I would do is I would just try to become friends. If I liked a guy and we were in the same class, I would like try to talk to him about the class or like get to know him like little by little every day. Do not rush trying to like date someone or see if they like you because that's where you get weird, okay? Literally just slowly talk to them in a very natural way. And I think one thing that made me really weird around my crushes in high school is I used to think that they were like so above me. Like because of popularity and this and that, I would see a guy and be like, oh, I don't know if I'm like good enough for him or like, I don't know if he would want to date me. Like, I don't know if he would ever like me. And it's like confidence is all from within. Okay, if you are a baddie on the inside, it will show on the outside. That I live by that. So if you like a guy and you're not sure what to do and you're feeling kind of awkward and you're like, I don't know how to see if he likes me, like just start talking to him and act as if you already know he likes you. That is like the best crush advice ever, low key. Act as if they already like you. Because when you get weird is when you're like, oh, does he like me? Like, I don't know. Like, should I act like someone else? And you get weird because you're trying to please somebody else. But if you're just yourself and you are like, oh, he likes me for sure, like what is there not to like? Like if you're just delusional like that, it works. It low-key works because then you're already comfortable with them and you start talking to them more like a friend instead of like someone you're trying to win over. Anyway, the question was how to know if they like you. I think that you can clearly tell by someone's actions. If there's no effort on their end to keep the conversation going or no like follow up to try and like hang out with you at some point, if you guys have been talking for months, they probably don't like you. It's literally so clear, but I think it's okay to make the first move. And I think it's okay to give it time. But over time, if you're not seeing like the effort from their side or they're not trying to win you over, I would drop it because you are so much better than that. And we're not going to go around and try to win people over. Like that is not why we're here. If you mesh with someone and it goes good and then they put in effort and then they like win you over and it's like, that is what you want. Okay. I always try to initiate like a friendship first and then just see where it goes because putting pressure on anything makes it very weird in my opinion. I have been the most weird version of myself when I like really like a guy and it's kind of like an obsession and then I just can't speak normally and I can't make it like a normal interaction. And like, if you focus too much on it becoming like romantic, it gets weird every single time. So literally just be yourself, try to like talk to this person, get out of your comfort zone. That's totally fine. Because if they don't know you exist, nothing's ever going to happen. But at the same time, they should be putting in the effort to get to know you and to actually hang out with you and anything romantic, let them win you over. Okay, girl, you are the prize. But I don't think it's bad to like let them know you exist also. Okay, that is my best crush advice, because I had so many crushes in high school where I was like, they are so cool and I'm just not popular enough and they wouldn't like me. And that is just BS, okay? Confidence literally comes from within. And if you are this person who like walks into a room and is like, I am that girl, like it will come off because you'll be like bubbly and warm and like just embrace who you are naturally and it'll work. It'll work. And the right people will like you. And not everyone has to like you back. That's low-key a blessing, okay? Also, I feel like in high school, I'd be like crushed if my crushes didn't like me back. Like, I feel like I'd be like, no, like, how do I get them to like me? Like, I have to post something on my story. Like, no. Okay, it is a blessing when people don't like you back sometimes. Okay, bestie boo. It is saving you because a lot of people are weirdos, okay? You don't want everyone to like you back. So just trust that whoever's meant for you will like you back and will put in the effort. And no one is too cool for you. No one is too popular for you. You are cool. Okay. I wish I could go back and tell that to my high school self that like you are cool and you don't need to change yourself to fit in or to get anyone to like you. Okay. Another question that I get all the time with high school is, what does a healthy relationship look like? And high school relationships are really interesting because you're like so little, and I just think that, let me just tell you, bestie boo, a healthy relationship is one that is not rushed, okay? You should never rush into getting to know someone, rush into hang out with someone, trying to be really serious. Like high school, if anything, I wish I could go back and tell myself, just focus on your friendships, because most likely high school relationships don't last, okay? There are some that last. My brother is in a high school relationship to this day, and now they're engaged. But it's unlikely. And that's why you should just focus on not putting pressure on things and having fun and just taking things slow and just getting to know someone in a friendship way, okay? Because I feel like in high school, my emotions were like all over the place. They still are, but like I definitely was so intense when I liked someone, and I was like really romanticizing the idea of like marrying someone from high school. And I'm so glad I didn't now, because the world is giant. Like the world is freaking huge, girl. So don't stress about trying to find your person in high school. That is like the least of your worries. But like you can have fun and get to know people and like, but I just think don't take anything too seriously and try not to put pressure on things and just move very slowly in relationships, because a healthy relationship is one that like grows with you and you guys are like friends first and you guys understand each other, and like there should never be any rushing. I feel like with high school you can get in some really weird situations, especially with guys, if they try to like rush you into things, and it's like, do not change for anybody, and don't take relationships that seriously, because most of them don't last. Just like don't change for anyone, and a healthy relationship should be slow and fun and light and happy, okay? But seriously, if I could give you high school advice for boys, it is to focus on yourself, because these guys are gonna come and go, okay? And the guys that I liked in high school actually all like chatted me after high school. And so it just goes to show that like if you focus on yourself, everything will work out, and most likely you will graduate, become the coolest person ever. These people are gonna like reach out to you and be like interested, and you're gonna be like so far past that. So just focus on yourself, bestie boo. Like I just remember how seriously I would take my crushes, and they definitely weren't interested back, and it's just like high school is more about focusing on yourself, figuring out who you are, and building those friendships that like last, because my friendships from high school have lasted way past high school. I'm still friends with like a couple people from high school, and so those are like my best friends. Like literally focus on that, bestie boo. It'll make you so much happier too. It'll save your sanity. Okay, speaking of friendships, we're gonna do a little friendship Q&A. Someone says, what do I do if my friends are toxic? First of all, we need to talk about signs that your friends are toxic in high school, because I did not know what a toxic friend was when I was in high school. And so let me just break it down for you. There are a couple signs that someone is a bad friend. Okay, number one, they get passive aggressive with you a lot. Friendships that are passive aggressive are not good friendships. Like I remember I would be friends with people who would get mad over the smallest things and like just create drama for no reason. And those friendships don't last because it's like, oh, drama is just so draining and there's so much of it in high school that it's like I would just run the opposite direction. Another sign that your friends are toxic is if they try to control what you do. Like I remember my friends in high school would be like, you can't hang out with that person unless I'm there. Like I had this one friend that would be like, you can't hang out with her because I introduced you guys and like I have to be there if you hang out, so you have to cancel your plans. And I just thought that that was so weird. Like if you have friends who are either way too passive aggressive or way too controlling, those are not real friendships. They're not actually looking out for you. And it's really weird. Okay, another one, jealousy. If you have a friend that's like constantly trying to one up you or they only talk about themselves, like that, those are not real friendships. We think they are in high school because it's like you just want people to hang out with, but you need to have standards in place so you're not around people that make you feel like garbage. So if you become friends with someone who's like low-key toxic and you realize it, I would just honestly try to meet new people and slowly distance yourself. There doesn't need to be drama around anything. People naturally come and go and friendships naturally. Some friendships just aren't made to last forever and that's okay. I think we have this idea that like all friendships need to be friends for life. And so it's like dramatic when you end a friendship, but it doesn't have to be, especially if that friendship is not light and easy and there for you and genuinely healthy. Like if you're in an unhealthy friendship, girl, you need to go because those like literally tear you from the inside out. Like they are so damaging and they're tiring and exhausting and you deserve way better than that. So I would just say slowly distance yourself, meet new people. Okay. But don't stay friends with someone just because you need someone to hang out with. Okay. That was my biggest mistake is I would tolerate bad friendships just because I wanted like plans on the weekend. And that is just like not the way to go. Okay. School questions. Someone says, what do I do if I don't know my career path yet? It's stressing me out. I relate to this because when I was like in high school, like 14, 15, I used to stress out so much about my future and think so much about like, who am I going to be? What do I want to do? And dude, I had this one teacher that really said something that stuck with me. He was like, guys, do not stress about your future because 90% of the jobs that you guys will have when you are out of college or graduated don't even exist yet. And that just like shook me to my core because when I was 14, I really wanted to be a YouTuber. That was like my whole goal and dream. It still is. But now there's so much to do with social media. Like you can do short form, you can do podcasting. Like my full-time job is social media and none of this stuff that I do now existed back then. So girl, do not stress about who you have to be, who you're going to be, what your career path is. Just take everything day by day. That is the best advice ever because even in like high school, even in college, I would freak out all the time and everything works out. Everything works out in your favor, okay? But you just have to trust the process. And it's really hard because when you're young, you're like, who am I going to be? I don't even know myself. Like, I don't know what I want to do. You do not need to stress about that in high school, period. Like, if anything, like middle, end of college is when you can be like, okay, I need to really start thinking about this. High school, you can literally have fun. Okay. Do not think about that. Do not stress about your career path. A lot's going to change and you're going to go through a lot in those next years that like kind of makes you think about what you want to do. And you're going to have like formative experiences in high school that might even show you what you want to do for a living. And also, your job is not your whole life. Okay. You are a person outside of what you do. And I think that our society forgets that. And we put so much on like achieving and being this grand person and doing all these amazing things. And it's like, you can just focus on being a good person and having fun and existing sometimes without making life a to-do list. Okay, bestie boo. Like, that's how I get around stress. Is I'm like, life is not always a to-do list. Like, you can just have fun. Like, you can just be a good person. You can just enjoy life sometimes without stressing so much about who you're going to be or what you're going to do. And I just wish I could tell my younger self that because she used to crash out a lot over those things. Okay, that is kind of like my part 1 to my high school advice and survival guide. I think I'm going to do another part because I have so much more to talk about. But I hope you guys enjoyed this epi. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up or rate it on Spotify and Apple. I love reading your ratings. In fact, we're going to read one right now. I'm so excited. I love reading these reviews. If you guys don't know, you can leave a review for the podcast in the YouTube comments, in the Spotify comments, and Apple. And I always go and read what you guys say. So let's read one. Oh, okay. This one's perfect. It says, I've been here since day one. If you read my comment next time, I would die from happiness. You're my safe space. You help me with everything, my anxiety, insecurities, and things like that. Love from your biggest fan. I'm gonna cry. Why was that the sweetest thing ever? You guys, like, when I read your comments, I'm like, okay, there's people that are actually on the other side of the screen, like, listening to this, and it makes me so happy. Like, I could literally cry. I love you guys, and I hope you know this is my safe space as much as it is. I hope you guys know this is my safe space. I can't say this. I hope you guys know that there's a hair in my eye. I hope you guys know this is my safe space as much as it is yours. Like, you guys make me so happy. Oh my gosh, there's literally a hair in my eye. I love you guys. And if you don't already, follow the podcast on Spotify or Apple, or subscribe to the YouTube. And I have a podcast, Instagram and TikTok. It's just Real Talk Podcast with 4 T's. Oh my gosh, my eye is freaking out. And all my socials are Niki_Patton. I love you guys, and I will talk to you in the next one. Make sure to add me on Snap and follow the Instagram and the TikTok and the YouTube. I love you guys. Mwah. And stay tuned for part 2. I love you, bestie boo. You got this. My eye is burning.